5 million adults in the U.S. have peanut allergies. That's according to a new study that also found about 20% of them developed the allergy after they turned 18. The Northwestern University study also found fewer than a quarter of children with a peanut allergy will outgrow it by adulthood.
There's new research on pollution. Air pollution caused by the burning of such fossil fuels as coal and oil was responsible for 1 in 5 deaths in the year 2018, with a total of 8.7 million deaths worldwide. The British researchers say in places like China, which still burn a lot of coal and oil, that proportion rose to 1 in 3 deaths. After a one-day delay, the ratings are in. There were a little more than 96 million viewers tuned into the Super Bowl on CBS Sunday. Those are the lowest numbers since 2007. S&P futures down 5. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Gary is refinancing his home, so he shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting him up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision he'll never regret, unlike taking that gig in the testing lab at the deodorant company.
Raise your arm, please. Oh, man, I hate this job.
Pretty regrettable, Gary. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
I struggled with gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 7 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. The Saginaw Fire Department is taking an extra step to protect its firefighters in an area most wouldn't immediately think would need attention. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
The move to install cameras at Station 1 on Federal Avenue, Station 2 on Gratiot Avenue, Station 4 on State Street, and the department's training facility on East Bristol was approved by Saginaw City Council and adds up to approximately $14.6 thousand. The move comes after a break-in to a department vehicle, which Fire Chief Chris Van Loo says isn't an everyday issue, but is sporadic enough to warrant an upgrade. City Manager Tim Morales says firefighters are city employees too and should be protected just like the many others seeing added security measures in their departments.
It's very similar to the coverage that we have at City Hall, at the public fire plant. It's not anything unique, but it's something that does need to the safety and security of the buildings, not necessarily that it's related to any specific incident. We have been upgrading these items citywide. As an employer, it's our responsibility to provide a safe environment for our employees.
Van Loo adds the security equipment the department does have in place is aging, and several of the stations currently have minimal security measures at best. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
A Vassar Township man escaped a serious collision yesterday without injury. State police responded to the area of Brown and Hess Roads in Tuscola County at the scene of a crash involving a white full-size commercial van and a train. Police say icy road conditions contributed to the crash. The 53-year-old man driving the van was unable to stop his vehicle in time for the train heading north and collided with the engine. A driver told police he was unable to see the train in time. That railroad crossing also has no crossing gates or a lighted signal, only a yield sign. Front-end damage, while the train sustained minimal damage. Speed is listed as a factor in the crash, and the van driver was ticketed at the scene. An Arctic air advisory for the state as freezing temperatures are expected all week. Health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights has some advice to stay safe from this Arctic blast.
The brutal cold weather can affect your health. Dr. Roy Elrod is chief of staff at DMC Detroit Receiving Hospital.
Hypothermia, which when the core body changes, that means the temperature drops below a certain level, it affects all organ systems versus exposures to the extremities and the outside skin conditions of the body, which become also damaged, which is frostbite.
It's best to limit your time outdoors, but if you're going to be outside, dress in layers, wear a hat, gloves, and scarf or face mask to protect your face, and warm, waterproof footwear.
WSG 907.
Who will help you get there? You spent years working, taking care of your kids, saving money, and now you're nearing retirement. Now it's your turn. You get to decide where to go next. Will your retirement include travel? Do you have a guide to help you get there? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and their team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors have helped hundreds of families create their retirement roadmap. Don't let financial limitations take you off course. Jason and Carl want you to have the retirement you've worked so hard for. They can help you create a retirement roadmap that's tailored to your lifestyle and long-term financial goals. Call Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors today at 989-888 and schedule a visit. 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl Kreiderman's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Investment advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor with the state of Michigan.
WSGW News Time 9:08. Something's missing in an annual ranking of best vehicles for the money. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Toyota did best in the annual U.S. News & World Report ranking with vehicles like the Camry, Corolla, RAV4, and Avalon. But if you're models, you're out of luck.
Domestic brands did not do very well this year, and we really saw more of the Japanese and Korean makers doing a lot better.
Jamie Page Deaton is executive editor for the list, which doesn't take into account pickup trucks, the domestic's most important product, because she says they become more like luxury vehicles.
Do you like round or square, deep dish or thin crust? Lovers of the pie unite on this National Pizza Day. More from MNN's Zach Clark.
P-I-Z-Z-A, give me pizza!
The only thing cheesier than that Olsen Twins wrap is my favorite slice of pizza, Detroit. Today, fans of Neapolitan, Sicilian, Chicago, and New York styles of pizza get together and celebrate. Pizza.com says the most popular pizza topping in America is pepperoni, with over 250 million pounds consumed yearly. In Japan, popular toppings include squid, mayonnaise, potato, and bacon. According to Ann Arbor-based Domino's, there are 34 million different ways of ordering just one of their pies.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies today with high temperatures in the upper teens. We'll have partly cloudy conditions throughout the overnight period tonight and a low around 1 below. Sunshine continues on Wednesday for the middle part of the week with a high near 18 degrees, turning mostly cloudy for your Wednesday night. Partly sunny skies on Thursday with a high near 20, turning mostly cloudy Thursday night with isolated snow showers possible during the overnight period as well, and lows in the upper single digits. Those snow showers continue into the morning on Friday, staying cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 18. I'm meteorologist Jake Pozinski with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 10 above.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW at WSGW.com.
And a very pleasant good morning to you, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. I want to thank you for joining us today. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to talk to Dr. Dennis Perry. He's the Chief Medical Officer of McLaren Health Plan about a webinar tomorrow that has to do with COVID-19. On Focus, Jennifer Carroll from Delta Corporate Services will join us. But for this hour, we're going to talk about a life dedicated to helping others. A man who for 6 decades has provided unequaled medical care for those who live in the Great Lakes Bay region and those who would travel to the Great Lakes Bay region. He's a man who probably does not like these kinds of things because he tries to avoid the spotlight rather than place himself in it. But we're going to do it anyway, and he's agreed to join us this morning along with several others. We are talking about Dr. Malcolm Field. And let me first say good morning to you, Malcolm, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning, and thanks for being with us today. Also with us, a man who sparked this show this morning. We say good morning to orthopedic surgeon Dr. Wahid Akbar. Dr. Akbar, good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Also with us, a friend of Dr. Field and someone who I've known and known the family a long, long time. He is an appeals court judge in the state of Michigan. And we say good morning to the Honorable Stephen Borrello. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Thanks.
Good morning, and good afternoon to Malcolm. You know, he's probably been up. So.
Thanks, Steve.
Probably looking at his dinner menu right now.
Oh, you're probably right. And I'm not sure if she's on the line yet, but the regional president of Ascension North Ministries, including St. Mary's, Dr. Stephanie Duggan. Dr. Duggan, are you on the line yet? The silence answers it. We will attempt to get a hold of her. All right, Wahid, I want to start with you because you brought this to my attention. This was your idea. So why don't you give us a little oversight as to why you thought this program would be beneficial and necessary?
I think you started with the introduction very well that Dr. Field has served our community, not only our community, Great Lakes Bay community and Michigan and beyond for so many decades. He remains unrecognized in many ways, not only what he has done personally, but also what he has brought to our community from the standpoint of research, from the standpoint of talent to this area. He has helped me to develop my practice when I came here almost 40 years ago. But I'm just a small example. He has brought in different specialties. He's brought the healthcare not only in neurosciences, but overall healthcare to a much higher level than we would normally see in a community of our size. And then with development of Field Neurosciences Institute, he has helped set a legacy which will help beyond our years as far as both the care is concerned in this area and the quality of the neurosciences care. So I thought it was important for our general public to know done personally and what is being done for neurosciences in an area much more than we would expect from a community our size.
And we also say good morning now to Dr. Stephanie Duggan. As I mentioned, she is the regional president of Ascension North Ministries, including St. Mary's here in Saginaw. Dr. Duggan, good morning.
Good morning. It's a real privilege to be here, to honor one who does not like to be honored.
We started out saying that. You have it exactly right. I think all of us who have known Dr. Field for any amount of time know he sure likes to shun the spotlight and shine it on others, but I can't think of anyone more deserving. What does Dr. Field mean to the medical care in this region, Steph, and particularly to Ascension St. Mary's?
So he sets what it is to be a clinician and to continue striving for excellence for your patients. I had a stretch when I worked on department and saw all kinds of wonderful, interesting things. But my favorite part of the entire midnight shift was between 4:45 and 5 a.m. I could count on the fact that Dr. Field would walk through the door, hang his coat up on the hook in the ED, and say, "How was your night? How's your horse?" And he just never failed. And I knew that I'd made it through another night. And he was here to continue the amazing work that he does.
Yeah. Anyone who knows Dr. Field knows that he has this penchant for getting up early in the morning. And my favorite story, the first time I met Malcolm, I had to interview him. He had, I think he may be the first recipient of the award from the Cornet Ball, if I remember right. But I had to go down and interview him. And so we called, and whoever I talked to, they set up the appointment, and they called me back, and they said, Dr. Field will be glad to talk to you. Be at St. Mary's at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday. So that's where I went to do the interview, and it was certainly memorable. And Stephen, you mentioned you were kidding about it, but you're right. He's probably looking at his dinner menu right now, right? You've known him a long time, haven't you?
I have. Actually, goes back to when I was a small child. Of all people, through my maternal grandfather, who was a physician up in Harrison, who would refer cases and then take me to see Dr. Field. And I recall the first time that happened, and my grandfather was a very quiet fellow, and Dr. Field had paid my grandfather a compliment, and I remember that was the first time I believe I saw him smile, and it had a profound effect on me, and we've kind of viewed Dr. Field sort of his nobility, at least in our family, as of others ever since. But no, yes, one thing you do have to do, I will say, and I'll give him equal time here, but when I have worked with a good doctor in the past, I've had to point to the clock and say, there are some numbers, Malcolm, I like to say. And then the negotiation begins.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to take a break here. We come back, we're gonna include Malcolm in this conversation because I know he's got some thoughts on this. We will talk to him and others when we return. You're listening to the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and let me take a moment to talk to you about Thalen Ram Truck, because if you look at any highway in Michigan right now, you can tell we are in love with the pickup truck. And the one I fancy is the one I'm driving this month. It's a Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 from Thalen Ram in Bay City. Now, Ram trucks are engineered to bring you confidence in the most demanding road conditions. Doesn't matter what kind of driving you're doing. And they are workaholic trucks. No compromises. It's the benchmark in capability, technology, and luxury. Has a host of best-in-class features and class exclusives, and you can tailor them to your own needs. You can have a truck tailored to exactly what you want, or you can find one in Thalen's extensive inventory. Stop in and take a look. Thalen Ram Truck on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Take the Ram truck of your dreams on a test drive. Then sit down with a Thalen Ram representative to talk about buying or leasing a Ram truck. Thalen searches the marketplace for the best price on their new and used vehicles because it's the right thing to do. Online, it's thinkthalen.com. And we will be back with our guests after these notes.
Planning for retirement can get really complicated if you're not getting the right guidance and advice.
If you don't sit down and you don't figure out how your retirement income is going to come, you are just rolling the dice. Don't roll the dice. Sit down and take some action. Don't take that chance because this is the second half of your life. You worked all these years. Now you want to enjoy all these years. So sit down, take the action, and do the planning.
Tune in to Simply Financial with Kevin Ray. Saturday mornings at 10 on News Radio WSGW.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 833-919-2121. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 833-919-2121.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Investors are waiting to hear from Twitter, Lyft, and Cisco Systems, which all report earnings later today. DuPont's earnings are in, and they're stronger than expected. Cannabis company Canopy Growth lost more money than forecast in its quarter. Canopy says now it's cutting costs to build a leaner and more agile business. The Wall Street Journal says of the roughly 300 companies in the S&P 500 reporting on business in the holiday quarter, more than 80% were stronger than forecast. Eli Lilly says its chief financial officer Josh Smiley has resigned after with Lilly employees and behavior that exhibited poor judgment. The company says the conduct was not related to the finances of the company. He'll forego his $1 million cash bonus. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
So much is happening, but who can you trust? You need to check out Newsmax TV, the fastest growing news channel in America. Watch it on all major cable systems and see shows with Sean Spicer, Greg Kelly, Lindsey Keith, Stinchfield, and Rob Schmidt. They're giving you the real story on Biden and Pelosi. Newsmax app on your smartphone now, or watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Pluto, Zumo, and more. 30 million Americans watch Newsmax TV. So should you.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just text TRY to 64,000 to start learning a new language today. That's TRY to 64,000.
Liberty Mutual Insurance. And Doug.
Okay, class, let's bump it up to 9.
Come on, Limu, keep pedaling. We got to build our endurance to let more people know that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Pick up the pace, bird legs.
Hey, don't talk to Limu like that.
I'm not, I'm talking to you.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Pass the slot, a shot taken, the save made, the Wings score right out in front. Oh, the Red Wings get their goal to make it 3-1.
The Red Wings play 6:45 tonight. Radio WSGW.
And welcome back to the Art Lewis Show for this Tuesday morning, talking about the life and times of Dr. Malcolm Field with Dr. Wahid Akbar, Dr. Stephanie Duggan, and Judge Stephen Borello. And the man of the hour is also with us this morning, Dr. Field, who I learned a long time ago at an event we were at, where I walked up to him and I said, "Good evening, Dr. Field." And he looked at me sternly and said, "My friends call me Malcolm." So I will yield to that and say Malcolm. I don't think we've ever really chatted about it, but what drew you into medicine in the first place?
Well, first, Art, I want to thank you and the other group here this morning. I had not anticipated something like this. It's been really a privilege to practice in the Saginaw area. People will do anything for you. You see somebody who's had a fire or a bad accident or a serious illness, and by the time the report is already made, there's support pouring in to help them. I think practice medicine and it had the support of a lot of good physicians and good friends. The Borello family is one family that I will always remember, and Steve's grandfather, Dr. Wilson from Harrison. But the problems that I see, and one of the reasons that I've been drawn to this area, is we see people with the malignant brain tumor, glioblastoma, with bad head injuries, with some of the demyelinating diseases, with spine problems and paralysis and disabilities and loss of continence, etc. These are all problems that we as human beings deal with. Some we do fairly well and others we don't. And that it's been my goal in life to do something substantial about these. People still die of glioblastoma. We still see people die with head injuries, and we have to try to continue to. And I've found it a great place to practice and to try to help the people here that come under my care. And we need to continue to do that, and I certainly want to, as long as I'm here in an ability to do something about this. One of the areas that has been a real challenge to me is the area of stroke. Of course, stroke comes in several different types. Brain hemorrhages. There's what's called thrombotic or ischemic stroke. And now with some of the techniques that have developed over the period of time, it's possible to treat a lot of these. We're fortunate to have with us Dr. Joe Adele, who is extremely talented in handling the ischemic strokes that are primarily secondary to embolic disease from heart disease, and particularly those people who have what's called auricular fibrillation with an irregular heart rate. But treating these is only just treating part of. Still have to deal with the atherosclerotic disease, or the hardening of the arteries involving the small arteries of the brain, and that give us deep strokes in what's called the thalamus and basal ganglia, brainstem. We need to deal with the problem of amyloid angiopathy, which is another part of the hardening of the artery problem that makes our arteries brittle, and then with the pulsation of the arteries, they burst and break and give us brain hemorrhages. These are all issues we struggle with, and we're going to be struggling with. And I think it's been a privilege for me to work here and try to treat people who have these kind of issues. And it's been really a great place to practice, and I really enjoy the people that I've had to work with, the physicians, the legal people, the friends, the education group. It's been a great place to practice.
And did the desire to address a lot of the issues you just touched on bring about the formation of FNI, Field Neurosciences Institute?
That was the idea. It was to bring together all of the disciplines that deal with neuroscience programs, from basic sciences and neuroanatomy, neurophysiology, neurochemistry, then with imaging, CT scanning, MRI scanning, now with ultrasound becoming much more. Well, I think that these are areas that we have tried to see develop so that we can do a better job. Radiation therapy, for instance, the various new radiation techniques, and as well as using some of the newer anticoagulants. There's progress being made in all of those areas, and we need to keep pushing, because people die and are disabled, demented with these illnesses, and we really need to do our best to alleviate their illnesses and their suffering.
Dr. Duggan, let me ask you, with someone like Malcolm on board and his advancements in neurosciences, are hospitals able to keep up with it? Can you keep up with the technology?
You know, Dr. Field and his group of friends and colleagues have been amazing partners for the hospital. When I was BRAC full-time clinical staff, I watched with admiration as Dr. Field and his partners just the first CyberKnife in this area. And they did it in conjunction with the hospital. So could the hospital alone keep up with it? I don't think so. But when you have a great physician as well as a great leader like Dr. Field, it really does raise the tide for all boats. And a lot of what I have learned from watching Dr. Field, I took with me to Florida and Alabama and then came home and am so excited to be able to be working with him and his colleagues again.
And Wahid, you've known Dr. Field a long time. What are your thoughts about the practice of medicine, keeping up with a person like Dr. Field?
I would give you a very brief, and you asked Dr. Duggan the question, a very brief as I can be, that I trained in Columbia, did my spine surgery, and we were testing a state-of-the-art spinal cord machine. I came to Saginaw, and I was telling them all about it. They said, we have it. Dr. Field already is using it. So you can imagine in Columbia University, using it in Saginaw.
Love it. We're all at home. Well, some of us anyway. Great.
I give of how Dr. Field has brought technology to Saginaw, and I don't even know if people realize. And it goes on, starting from the first CAT scan to the first MRI, and how every year, every 2 years, when the MRI technology improves, he keeps on pushing to bring this, including what Dr. Duggan mentioned, that the group physicians and surgeons he has collected to keep on giving us. The radiology department is a better radiology department in Saginaw at St. Mary's because of him. And the example just goes on.
All right, I have to take a break. We're talking to Dr. Wahid Akbar, Dr. Stephanie Duggan, Judge Stephen Borrello, and Dr. Malcolm Field. We will be back with more on the Art Lewis Show after these notes.
Traditionally, the symbol of romance is flowers.
Oh, honey, they're beautiful.
But flowers last, what, a few days?
A week, tops.
We think romance ought to last, like it's set in stone, forever.
I like the way you think.
Then let Stone Specialists bring you the romance of natural stone into your home. Since 1996, they've been your direct source for granite and quartz countertops.
Ooh, experience. I like that.
Stone Specialist in Midland will guide you through the from your imagination to installation. Their 10,000-foot showroom is filled with ideas. Choose granite and quartz from around the world in hundreds of captivating colors.
I already have a few in mind.
Increase the beauty and value of your home with new countertops from Stone Specialist. Start creating your new kitchen or bathroom now.
All I need are the details.
114 East Hines Street in Midland, at stonespecialist.net, or follow us on Facebook.
Got it.
Stone Specialist. Bring the romance of natural stone to your home.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination, a COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other corona. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine. and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can. Keep wearing masks correctly and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19, and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere and home devices with the radio.com app.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Online with us, Dr. Stephanie Duggan. She is the regional president of Ascension Ministries, Ascension North Ministries, that includes St. Mary's. Also with us, Dr. Wahid Akbar and Judge Stephen Borrello and Dr. Malcolm Field. As we talk about the life and times of Dr. Field, trying not to embarrass him, but he is not one to like the spotlight very much. But he has so many friends. And Stephen, I know your family goes back a long way with Dr. Field, including your parents. What are your memories of him?
Well, I have several, and they're all good. And my father, many years ago, back when the nuns were running, what was then called St. Mary's, and let me tell you, those nuns were tough. My father and mother would employ them as babysitters when they left, and me and my brothers learned to fear the habit, so to speak. But and I know that Dr. Field had toiled under some let's just say less than friendly folks, but the attorney for St. Mary's, I want to say, gosh, Doctor, back in the early 70s or thereabouts, and I think that's when their relationship really blossomed. And then my father and Dr. Field were very instrumental, again, to Dr. Wahid's Akbar's point, bringing other physicians in literally from around the world. I'm thinking here, Doctor, of our good friend Nick Dimitrioff as one of those people. And just across the spectrum, Dr. Dimitrioff was in oncology, primarily a researcher. And the thing that, my father would always convey to me about one of the things that made Malcolm so special is, and you heard it in his approach to treating people, and that's just how Malcolm thinks. And that is, and this word gets overused, but I think it's deservedly so here, that holistic approach, that you look at all of the sciences. You come into a community and you don't view success as a finality, you view it as a beginning. And because of him, we have Saginaw Valley State University to this community. We have linked Central Michigan University, and I dare say, although Doctor won't agree with me, one of the main reasons why Central Michigan University has a medical school right now and why they're parked in Saginaw is because of Dr. Field. And as you know, Art, whenever we have the good occasion to attend an FNI event, you find yourself sitting at a table with people literally across the world who have all been brought here by one person, and that one person is. So I just don't think you can overstate, as Dr. Akbar more eloquently stated, just how much of an impact he's had, not just on the healthcare part of things, but also on our community as a whole, rather.
Does it help, Dr. Duggan, when you try and attract physicians to have someone like a Dr. Field in your midst?
Absolutely. When you have someone that is constantly at the top of their game and challenging everybody around them, and that leads to the collaboration, and that is how medical students thrive. Absolutely, as the judge said, an outgrowth where we're able to, continue capitalizing on this incredible legacy that Dr. Field has started and then inspired everybody around him to continue. So when you can point to someone that, Dr. Field is still here at, 5:30, 6 a.m., whenever you need him to be there, to ask him questions. And it's a remarkable thing that he has done for our community.
Well, he did. It is interesting because we have, and through Dr. Field and many others, been able to attract wonderful international doctors, including yourself. When Dr. Field could have left, he had opportunities at Mayo Clinic and other places, but chose to stay here. What brought you to Saginaw?
My story would be a long story, what brought me to Saginaw, but I would like to focus again, if you don't mind, Art, on Dr. Field. And one thing I've been thinking for the last several minutes, which has to be said, is that he truly believes in bringing the care to the next level. And one of the things over the years I've seen, all of these pieces of equipment are very expensive or difficult to obtain. He has really truly put his money where his mouth is. If the funds are not available, I know he has spent his personal finances to bring that equipment to Saginaw. And I can tell you, when I came here, that was one of the reasons I came. I'll say briefly, for a few years. This was a kind of a stop-by kind of a thing for me, and personal family reasons. But once I started working with Dr. Field and saw how great this medical community is, I decided to stay here. And Dr. Field is definitely the main reason I decided to stay and keep on serving this community.
All right, I have to take a quick break. We'll come back for our final segment, and I want to talk a little more to Malcolm. We will do that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me tell you that when you choose Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for your Medicare coverage, it's easy to get the care, tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. When you need access to care, Blue Cross provides you with more options that work for every lifestyle. Schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. If you'd like to stay close to home, give the Blue Cross 24/7 nurse line a call or schedule a virtual doctor visit. Whenever you need assistance, Blue Cross will connect you with the information and help you need. With a Blue Cross Medicare plan, you'll never have to go without your medication. Their easy-to-use prescription drug plans allow you to refill and pick up your medications from your local pharmacy or have them delivered by mail. Get access to the care you need as soon as you need it with Blue Cross, the company that more than 500,000 people in Michigan trust for their Medicare coverage. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. See what other members are saying at bcbsm.com/seniorcare. We'll be back right after these notes.
Kapoco Community Credit Union, helping friends and neighbors realize their financial goals and dreams for over 60
And we are back with you here on WSGW, chatting with Dr. Wahid Akbar, Dr. Stephanie Duggan, Judge Stephen Borello, and Dr. Malcolm Field. So, Malcolm, let me ask, from the time you got into medicine, and you've been practicing now about 60 years, thereabouts, have you seen the progress in neurosciences that you hope to see? Have we made great advances?
We've seen a lot, or there's been a lot of change, but I go back to my opening. We've got a lot to do yet. Some out to do yet. We have people suffering from dementia and from multiple sclerosis and brain tumors and those kind of things that we still don't have really a good answer for many of them. And yes, we've seen a lot of change and for the better, but we've got a long ways to go. And I think this is a great community with the support of everybody, including our research group with Dr. Dunbar and the physicians and the people of this area that have been very supportive. And I really want to thank you. I guess my ears are still burning from the embarrassment of all the good things have been said, but we still got a long ways to go.
Well, but it's well-deserved, Dr. Field. You have a lot of friends in this community that look at you as more than just a physician, but look at you as a friend and in many cases a hero. It seems that almost every day you come in touch with somebody who has had Dr. Field touch their life in one way or another. So it is a blessing for the community to have you here. And I want to take these last few minutes to go around the horn here and let everybody say their peace of mind about you. We'll start with you, Wahid, since this was your idea. So go ahead and finish up with a few thoughts.
I think one of the reasons this was Judge Borello and we were talking when we came up with this idea of a show with you is that I think FNI, the work it is doing, the support it is receiving is tremendous, but I think our community needs to know and get engaged with FNI much more than we are. So that would be my main focus. The work Dr. Field has done, and he still thinks we need a lot to do, literally stands going to be on the shoulders of FNI, and we all need to support it.
Dr. Duggan, your turn.
It's just overwhelming for me to be in the presence of someone who has given so much of his life to the betterment of those whom he serves. And when I think about the Ascension legacy, it's linked hand in hand with Dr. Fields. We've nearly been in this community as a ministry for 150 years, and Dr. Field is a large reason why we have the legacy that we have. I was talking to someone at the Ascension National level, and they said just last week, there was a neurosurgeon there who was amazing, Dr. Field. And I said, and he's still on active staff. And it's just amazing how many people, Dr. Field, that you have touched. And to be able to continue serving with you is a true gift every day. And I thank you.
Judge Borello?
Well, to your point, Art, everywhere you go, the mere mention of the name raises usually a smile and then a story. You know, how Malcolm literally saved either their life or somebody in their family's life. But even beyond all of the miracles he has performed as a neurosurgeon, what he has done for our community, as Dr. Akbar was saying, through FNI, is the best gift that, candidly, I've seen anybody make in quite a long time. As Dr. Duggan says, this FNI, this research, this is what gets built upon, so that when you get one of the diagnoses that the good doctor was talking about before, it no longer is a death sentence. It's okay, here's how we treat it. Here's how we cure it. And I just want to thank Dr. Field for having had a tremendous impact on my life, my family's life, and the life of the community that all of us hold so dear.
Malcolm, you get the last word today, and I have to ask you, because I've known you a long, long time, you no longer do surgery, but you're still in practice. You still go into the office every day, don't you?
Yes.
How long are you going to do it?
I don't know what else to do. I don't play tennis and I don't play golf. So this is what I do. This is what I know. This is what I have been so fortunate to be able to practice here and have the support of the community, the medical. And I really want to thank you. I want to thank those who've been on this morning. As I said, my ears are burning from embarrassment, but I thank you.
We could have had a lot more, but it would have been way too confusing. Too many voices. But you just know that you are not only respected but loved in this community, Dr. Field. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of all those on the phone this morning that we truly treasure knowing you as a friend.
Since Maria's back in business, you and I need to get together at a restaurant.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. We will do that. He speaks of Maria, who now owns Bring Her In. And there's a funny story attached to that. Many, many years ago when the CyberKnife first came to town, it was in that first week that my wife and I were eating some food at Maria's restaurant with Dr. Field and his lovely wife, Lois. And he asked me if I had seen the CyberKnife, and I said, no. And so he said, okay, let's meet tomorrow. Well, the next day was Sunday, Mother's Day. And so I turned to my wife, and she said, sure. And he turned to Lois, and she said, well, I haven't got anything to do. So on Mother's Day, we spent 2 hours looking at the CyberKnife and getting a tour. And Dr. Field, I think you really like talking to people about medicine. I think you'd love it, don't you?
I do.
It was quite evident. Well, God bless you, and thanks for being with us today, Dr. Field, and allowing us to do this. Dr. Duggan, Stephanie, thank you so much. Wahid, thank you. Stephen, thank you as always, my friend, and we appreciate all of you being here this morning.
For giving us this time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Stephen. Thanks. Stephanie, thank you. Have a good day.
My pleasure. Dr. Field, see you in the morning.
Bright and early. And Malcolm, thank you. God bless you, and thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Take care now. All right, we want to thank our guests this morning. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, over a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is a $30 gift certificate to the Beer Garden in Bay City for only $15. The Beer Garden has 18 delicious beers on tap, and they have some delicious signature burgers such as the Dealer's Choice and Grandma Jew. And do not forget to try their poutine and roasted Brussels sprouts. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Chrissy is refinancing her home, so she shopped around for the lowest rate and setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-5146 or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
The Superman in the movie for a real-life
Chavez. He says, Superman is my idol. He says, I want to look like Superman. This 35-year-old man has undergone a series of procedures to slim down his thighs, to have surgery on his cheeks, his lips, his chin. He's had injections. He's copied the nose of Superman, the proportions of Superman's face. He's going to have metal rods inserted in his legs to make him taller.
Well, those rods in his legs, I can see him calling him the Man of Steel.
People in his village in the Philippines refer to him as the Village Superman. I'm thinking, idiot.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, that'll do it. My thanks to Dr. Wahid Akbar, Judge Stephen Borello, Dr. Stephanie Duggan, Dr. Malcolm Field for our previous hour. We really appreciate it. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk to another doctor, Dr. Dennis Perry from McLaren, about a webinar on COVID-19 coming up. Stick around. News is next. We'll talk to you right after that.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
Rodriguez. In a few hours, Donald Trump will become the first former president in American history to be tried in the Senate for impeachment twice. Correspondent Nicole Killian.
This trial is expected to move relatively quickly, with both sides getting about 2 days to present their case, and then they'll likely work through part of the weekend. I'm told the former president is expected to watch a good chunk of the trial.
His attorneys call it unconstitutional. Democrats accuse Mr. Trump of inciting rioters at the U.S. Capitol. As for how the people see it, CBS News Deputy Director of Surveys, Jennifer DePinto.
A 56% majority of Americans would like to see the Senate vote to convict former President Trump. 9 in 10 Democrats want to see Trump convicted, joined by more than half of independents. Only 17% of Republicans think Trump should be convicted.
The COVID variant, first detected in the UK, is expected to be the dominant strain here in the U.S. soon. CBS's Cammie McCormick says there's more to look.
Because, there are still a lot of unknowns with COVID.
Doctors admit they don't know enough about COVID variants to say for sure whether you could be reinfected.
You might have had the illness, you might have received the vaccine. Do not let your guard down.
In some places like Tennessee, less than 4% of those vaccinated are going in for their second shots because they're worried about side effects.
A lot of that is posted on social media, and then patients look at that and say, gosh, I didn't have any side effects with the first. Why take the chance for the second?
The NTSB is expected to announce soon the possible cause of the helicopter crash that killed NBA great Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter, and 7 other people a year ago. Investigators have been focusing on bad weather and lack of safety features that may have alerted the pilot to surrounding mountains. Fans called his brand of smash mouth football Marty Ball. A former Chiefs publicist says longtime NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer, who suffered from Alzheimer's, had 77. Numbers are in for the big game. CBS's Wendy Gillette.
Super Bowl 55 attracted 96.4 million viewers for Viacom CBS, the lowest watched Super Bowl since 2007. The company focused on record-breaking streaming numbers, an average of 5.7 million viewers a minute.
Wish you could let out your frustration over pandemic restrictions? Check out this scene in Israel. Many have taken to groups screaming in the streets, even from hilltops to vent. Organizers say everyone who's taken part has either recovered from COVID or been vaccinated. Dow down 76. This is CBS News.
Indeed delivers great candidates fast. In fact, Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. More at Indeed.com/credit.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
If you're not having regular, healthy bowel movements, you feel just plain yucky, mentally, emotionally. You know when things aren't right. Well, proper, effective, healthy elimination is easy to attain, and it doesn't involve laxatives, fiber, probiotics, diarrhea, nor constipation. The fact is, when you have better bowel movements, so many areas of your life get better immediately. So where to begin? Go to poopfix.com and take the 7-day poop challenge. Then try Viscera 3, otherwise known as Poop Fix. Within a few days, going to the bathroom becomes a pleasure.
I'm Dr. Rick. Poop Fix works because of its revolutionary ingredients. It's the way your lower colon should work. It means a gentle, clean, and easy poop first thing in the morning, and it's the easiest way to slim your waist fast by reducing bloating.
With Poop Fix, you'll see and feel the results within 7 days. Go to poopfix.com and take the 7-day poop challenge. That's poopfix.com.
Live from Event 790 Newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 11 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. After a recent break-in to a department vehicle, the Saginaw Fire Department will be installing new security cameras at its stations and training center. Saginaw Fire Chief Chris Van Loo said there have been sporadic break-ins to fire and department vehicles in the past, but with current equipment aging and a need for increased employee security, he said it was time for a different approach.
Within the last 30 days, some personal items taken from the vehicle. It's been sporadic. We're trying to be proactive and give some protection. We currently have an outdated system at Station 1. We don't have any kind of protection or coverage at our other two stations.
In total, the cost to install the cameras at Station 1 on Federal Avenue, Station 2 on Gratiot, Station 4 on State Street, and the training facility on East Bristol adds up to about $14,500. Council approving an additional $46,500 for the separate purchase of a Chevy Tahoe for battalion chiefs to share, replacing an older, deteriorating 2007 model that had been costing more and more to repair annually. The Saginaw Alpact Committee has announced the selection of Bishop Larry Camel as the new committee chair. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Bishop Camel is the pastor at New Birth Missionary Baptist Cathedral and the co-founder of Saginaw's Parishioners on Patrol. He succeeds Cal Talley, special assistant to the provost at SVSU, who has served as co-chair since 2017. The Saginaw Alpact Committee meets twice a month to examine issues affecting community police relations to ensure equitable enforcement of laws, including racial profiling, police discretion, use of force, recruitment and training, and police leadership. Bishop Camel says he's deeply honored to be selected and looks forward to working with community members to move Alpact's mission forward, and thanks former co-chair Talley for his years of leadership. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5. And
WSGW News Time is 10:07.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. The City of Midland has begun accepting applications for gardening plots at the Circle Community Center, the Circle Community Garden, that is, near the intersection of Edwin and Cambridge Streets. Gardeners will receive a prepared planting bed where they can grow fruits, vegetables, herbs, or flowers. Registration for a plot is $25 and will be accepted online or in person at the Parks and Recreation Office on North Saginaw Road. The 30 plots are expected to sell out quickly and are sold on a first-come, first-served basis. You can visit the Midland website for more information. On Friday, the Dow Event Center and the Saginaw County Health Department will be putting on the first of several neighborhood-based mass COVID-19 vaccination clinics. The drive-through event will run from 9 to 4 for Saginaw County adults ages 80 and older. The clinic will be by appointment only and will require the partial closure of Washington Avenue to enter near the west side of the building and through to the event center's arena floor. Once on the floor, cars will drive to one of 24 vaccination stations led by health department nurses and staff, as well as Central Michigan University medical students and faculty and Michigan National Guard medics and soldiers. The Dow will also be holding an appointment-only blood drive put on by Versity Blood Center on February 19 from 1 to 7, which will provide free COVID antibody testing on successful donations and a face covering celebrating Black History Month for anyone attempting to donate. A van and a train were involved in a crash in Tuscola County yesterday. State police investigated the incident, which happened in the area of Brown and Hess in Vassar Township. Police say a 53-year-old Vassar Township man was driving a white full-size commercial van when he struck the engine of an oncoming train. The driver told police he wasn't able to see the train enough due to the icy roads. That railroad crossing has no crossing gates or a lighted signal, only a yield sign. The man and the train conductor were not injured. The van sustained heavy front-end damage, while the train sustained minimal damage. Police cited the van driver and released him at the scene. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom, 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper teens, with winds out of the west around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions, a low near -1. Wednesday, partial sunshine develops, a high around 18 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny sky conditions with a high around 19. By Friday, mostly degrees. Then by Saturday, we'll have a chance for some snow showers here late, mostly cloudy skies, and a high around 16. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 12.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Open phones later on in the hour, but we're going to start the hour talking about COVID-19 and how you can find out more about it. And we're going to do that with Dr. Dennis Perry. He is the Chief Medical Officer of McLaren Health Plan. And we say good morning to Dr. Perry.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I think before we get into the COVID-19, I'm not familiar with the McLaren Health Plan. Tell us a little bit about that.
The McLaren Health Plan is a licensed HMO health maintenance organization offering health care benefits throughout Lower Michigan since 1998. MHP is also the parent organization of McLaren Health Plan Community, a licensed HMO serving several commercial groups and individuals, and McLaren Health Advantage.
So basically, you're I guess for lack of a better term, it is a medical insurance plan, right?
We actually are a medical insurance plan, indeed.
All right, so let's talk about this webinar that you have coming up on COVID-19. First of all, why the need for a webinar like this?
Well, this was initiated as a cooperative effort between the healthcare plan and McLaren Flint Hospital's Diversity and Inclusion Committee, as we were starting to talk about how to fight this terrible pandemic that's amongst us. We were looking for ways to educate folks, share information, dispel myths, and try to help people make decisions about the vaccine.
And thus the webinar, before I forget, because I could go through this conversation and not ask, when is the webinar, and is it open to the public?
Absolutely. So we're planning on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, February 10th. It's called Take the Fight to COVID. It's a free webinar, but in order to listen to it, you have to register. And to register, you go to McLaren.org/FlintFightCovid.
And we'll remind everybody about that again. How long will this webinar take?
We're anticipating about an hour. We have several pretty distinguished panelists on this, and they'll be answering questions and talking a little bit about the vaccine, the myths, the facts. And there will be an opportunity for folks to ask questions during this time, so we anticipate an hour.
Dr. Perry, we are inundated with COVID-19 news daily, day in and day out. We're inundated with vaccine news, pro and con, day in and day out. Is there any wonder the American public may be a little confused about COVID-19?
There's a lot of confusion going about. Since it's been almost a year that we've been into this, we've had, again, you said it well, quite an inundation of information. Accurate, sometimes not. Our hope for this webinar tomorrow is to try to clarify points, bring us up to date on where we're at right now. We're focused on the vaccine and trying to help people make decisions. There are folks right now regarding the vaccine that are clearly wanting to get it. There are folks that clearly are not, and then there are those that want to wait and see or don't know. So we're just trying to provide a forum so we can give the most up-to-date information we can.
And I know this is in partnership with the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and that's pretty important. We did a show about 2 weeks ago. The Saginaw County Medical Society had some serious concerns about the rate of sign-up in the minority communities to get vaccinated. Using the health department list and Meyer and others, they said that, for example, in the African American community, the sign-up rate was only about 25%. And they were genuinely concerned that that community wasn't going to receive the vaccines the way they should. Have you seen that as a problem? And how do you address it?
So I'm also a family physician and see it as a huge problem. Group sees it as a huge problem, and that's part of why we want to initiate this start of a conversation. And the plan is, after tomorrow's webinar, after a couple of weeks, to do a second webinar, and part of that will be with a call to action with some specific plans and abilities to get that vaccine into the arms of those who are most in need. And that's why the Diversity and Inclusion Committee brought the health plan in play, because a good proportion of our constituents are in those groups of folks that are underserved, hard to get the vaccine to. So we're really trying to make it as easy as we can to do the right thing.
I know one of the things that won't be talked about, because you really can't, is, where am I on the list? When am I going to receive my vaccine? How many doses are available? These topics you can't address because you really don't know the answers to that, do you?
We don't. We're asking those questions every day, and it's very frustrating to those of us in the field as well as it is to your listeners at home. We would love to know where it's at, where you're at on the list. We know that ultimately the number of vaccines are going to increase. The ability to get those vaccines to folks will be easier, but we don't have all those answers today.
when it comes to COVID-19 and mitigating this terrible pandemic, have we had a cohesive effort, or is it a little bit disjointed?
Well, it's been very disjointed. Again, in the healthcare profession and as a family physician, we feel it with our patients, trying to give them the information, them the vaccines. As a family physician, as a primary care physician, that's what we do. And so we read a lot of things, we hear a lot of talk, but we just don't have the availability. And I think it is starting to turn around. I think, and I really truly feel that there is going to be more of a concerted plan. I think we're going to see more sites and more ability for folks wherever they live to get this vaccine, but it's very slow in coming, very confusing in how to get there.
Dr. Perry, hang on a minute. I have to take a break, and then we'll come back, talk a little more. We're talking to Dr. Dennis Perry. He is the Chief Medical Officer of the McLaren Health Plan and also a family physician. Let me take a moment to ask you all how you slept last night, because, in this world we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed and theoretically you spend a third of your life there, you need quality sleep. And you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home, so you don't have to wait around all day for them. And if you have an RV or a boat, they will custom make a mattress to your exact specifications, something the box stores can't do. Visit Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. You set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road. They're just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. Sanitary Mattress. We'll be right back.
There's going to be one day this winter. Temperature will be 10 below. A 45-mile-an-hour wind with blinding snow is making it seem like 50 below. Is your garage door going to be ready for that day? Call M&R Garage Door now. M&R can service your existing garage door and opener, both residential and industrial. Or M&R can install a Clopay insulated garage door to keep your home warm. Make sure your garage door is ready for that day and every other day this winter. Call M&R Garage Door, 894-0971, where service is their specialty.
My name is Cade Courtley, and this is my new show, Can You Survive This Podcast? I'll be drawing on my years as a former Navy SEAL platoon commander, sniper, and CIA. The show is designed to teach you techniques that will increase your chances of survival if you happen to find yourself or your family in any life-threatening disaster scenario imaginable. Subscribe and listen for free on Spotify. Can You Survive This Podcast?
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. Investors are moving cautiously after records on Wall Street on Monday. Twitter is expected to report its second $1 billion quarter later today. Twitter's been helped by a recovery advertising market. Honda's profit more than doubled in its holiday quarter. The car company saw higher sales in the U.S. and Japan. It was able to cut costs, too. Crude oil prices rose to the highest levels in more than a year. Oil's being helped in part by optimism that vaccines and stimulus will result in more people traveling. Also, producers have been cutting supplies. The Postal Service rebounded to a profit in the recent quarter after losing money a year ago. It delivered a record number of packages during the holiday season. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Still not sure what to get him for Valentine's Day? Well, Untucked shirts are the comfortable, easy-to-wear gifts that every guy loves. And that's because Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel comfortable. You can't go wrong with our best-selling fabrics like wrinkle-free cotton and performance with stretch. Use code RADIO for 20% off your next purchase at any Untucked store or at untucked.com. Untucked makes the perfect Valentine's Day gift. Use code RADIO for 20% off. Untucked shirts, designed to be worn untucked.
Northeastern Paint Supply invites you to listen to the WSGW Focus Show with Art Lewis. To 11:30, you'll hear local business and community leaders, sponsored by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City.
This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Ricky LeBlanc, admitted in Massachusetts only. Sokolov Law LLC, Chestnut Hill, Mass. Paul J. Morgan, Winter Park, Florida. Greg Hoppy, New Jersey. Michael Bro Gonzalez, admitted Louisiana. While this firm maintains joint responsibility, most cases of this type are referred to other attorneys for principal. Devastating cancer. You may be entitled to compensation. Call Sokolov Law today. 1-800-578-2400. The only known cause of mesothelioma exposure. Thousands of U.S. veterans and trade workers are at risk for the disease. Dollars in court-ordered trusts has been set aside to pay money to asbestos victims. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call now. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Call for a free legal consultation at 1-800-578-2400. That's 1-800-578-2400. 1-800-578-2400.
Pass in the slot, a shot taken, a save made, and the Wings score right out in front. Oh, the Red Wings get their goal to make it 3-1.
The Red Wings play 6:45. 90 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We are talking to Dr. Dennis Perry, the Chief Medical Officer for the McLaren Health Plan, about a webinar that takes place tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And it is a webinar saying, take the fight to COVID. Dr. Perry, let's talk about vaccines for a moment, because I guess the question, and there's a question that I know McLaren sent me that I found interesting. Is it a one-size-fits-all vaccine? Or does it matter which vaccine I get?
Those are great questions. One-size-fits-all vaccine, I think, is really talking more towards should you get the vaccine that's out there. I think that everybody that qualifies, and most everybody qualifies, should get the vaccine. That's my opinion. Is there more than one vaccine out there? Right now we have two vaccines. There's the Moderna and the Pfizer. We're expecting to see authorization to come through in the next few weeks, Johnson & Johnson. So there's a few options that are definitely out there, but I think that the present vaccines available are showing great safety, and we hope to show great efficacy.
So does it matter if I get the Pfizer? Like, I've had my first shot. I get my second one at the end of this week, and it was the Pfizer. Is it any different than the Moderna? Does it make any difference to me? Not much. Can you mix them? I know they're studying this overseas. If I got Pfizer as number one, could I get Moderna as number two or not?
Right now, I don't know of anybody doing that. If you get the Pfizer first as your first shot, you should get the Pfizer as your second. Same with the Moderna.
And the Johnson & Johnson that's on the horizon, that's a one-shotter. Is it an RNA-type vaccine, or is it a different vaccine?
Nope, it works in a different way. It is not an mRNA vaccine. The first two that you mentioned are both mRNA vaccines.
The Johnson is not, though. So does that mean that one contains a virus?
No, none of the vaccines actually contain the virus. Those are the virus that trigger your immune system to be able to quickly recognize the virus and to fight it off more efficiently. The coronavirus is a unique virus, as everybody's read and may know, that it does have certain properties that make it more treacherous, if you will, make it more deadly in many ways. And so giving your immune system a jump start by getting the vaccine would help folks either prevent them from getting the disease or modify the disease.
So let me ask you, as a physician, you've seen, for example, flu shots, and they say they're about 60% effective. The Pfizer and the Moderna are 95% effective, but they're effective against one disease as opposed to a myriad of flus that we guess as to what's coming. Do you see the day when we're going to have to get a COVID shot every year the same way we get a flu shot? Or do you see the day when they marry the two and one shot will cover it all?
That's a great question. I definitely think that we'll be seeing a need for boosters annually with the COVID vaccine. I think the variants that are coming out aren't surprising to any of us because we see really every virus mutate a bit every year. That's why if you get a cold one year, you can get a cold the next year. For influenza, we see that vaccine change most every year, and I feel that that same thing is going to happen with the COVID vaccine. Whether there'll be a dual vaccine, I mean, we do have some dual vaccines or triple vaccines that we give, measles, mumps, rubella, for example. I really don't think we'll have a dual vaccine. I think the influenza vaccine and the COVID vaccines will be separate. It has to do with, I think, manufacturing, but time will tell.
The current vaccines, particularly Pfizer, Moderna, what do we know about their effectiveness against these mutant strains? Brazil, UK, Denmark, South Africa. There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's 4 main ones that we're studying and looking at, and we're seeing that they're going to be they're in the States, they're in Michigan. What we have seen as far as efficacy in general from the 2 initial vaccines, the mRNA vaccines in the phase 3 trials, they were 95% effective. In reality, we hope that's going to be true. Time will tell. These vaccines now have been being administered we're getting close to 2 months now. So as time goes on, we'll collect more data. We'll know how efficacious, how potent and helpful they really are. The variants, we see the same sort of thing happen, I think, with influenza, where if influenza is mutated and doesn't match up with the vaccine, we do think that it helps make the disease that you catch less severe. We are seeing some studies coming out, or some at least reports, that both the Pfizer and the Moderna do give protection against these variants. The South Africa strain is the one that seems to be a little bit more virulent or harmful, and the initial word is that there's at least partial, if not full, protection from these vaccines. So I really personally think for all of my patients and our communities that getting this vaccine will make a difference, even with the variants.
I'm going to ask you to peek into the Perry crystal ball for a moment here. Look down the road. Dr. Fauci tells us we need 70 to 80% vaccinated Americans to get herd immunity. Will it happen by this summer, do you think?
I think that it's a combination of vaccinated and those that have had the disease. So those that have had COVID, plus the number of folks that have been vaccinated. At the rate things are going, I'm hopeful by the end of the summer. I think it is possible it's going to take longer. There's a lot of play right now to get more vaccine from the manufacturers and then to open up clinics. And I think we're going to see big clinics opening up, drive-thrus that make it a lot easier. It probably is going to take until April before that happens. But I think if we can get people to do it, that we can get there. I'm very optimistic.
Are you optimistic that the more people that get shots and don't have issues will convince others to follow suit and get shots, even if they were hesitant?
That's my hope. I think we're seeing that very clearly in that category that started the immunizations, the healthcare workers. We track that in McLaren and within our own organization. Initially, even in the healthcare field, there were only about 60% that were signing up. But what's happened is, when you talk to your colleague that got the shot, and they say, I had no problems with it. It was a piece of cake, and here I am 2 months later and still feeling great. It's sort of tipping the scale a little bit, so folks are actually saying, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. So we're seeing those percentages even in the healthcare field, which started out at 60% going up to 80%. In the African-American community, it started out, you mentioned the statistic of 25%. I read 30, 35% initially that have the desire to get the vaccine. I really hope through our webinar and other ways we can encourage people to take that plunge and do what's best for them and their family and really for their community, because that's the only way that we're going to take this fight to COVID and win.
I want to end this discussion taking you back to where we started. So tell us again about the webinar, when and where, and how people sign up.
Absolutely. The webinar is called Take the Fight to COVID. It's a Zoom webinar that takes place tomorrow, February 10th at 7 o'clock. To be able to listen in, you have to register, and that registration would be through McLaren.org/Flint Fight COVID.
That's simple. Plan on spending about an hour at your computer to hear it all, and you will be able to ask questions. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. We will have an interpreter for the hearing impaired as well on the Zoom meeting. So we look forward to being able to have a discussion.
And a panel of experts.
A panel of great people from the Flint community.
Well, Doctor, thanks for spending some time with us this morning and telling us about it. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate the time. Thank you, Art.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Dr. Dennis Perry, he is the Chief Medical Officer of the McLaren Health Plan. We thank him for his time this morning. We're going to take a break. We come back, open phones for the remainder of the hour, whatever you'd like to chat about at Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll-free number is 866-790. WSGW. We'll talk to you right after these notes.
What makes Fast Cash from the Michigan Lottery so thrilling? The progressive jackpot that keeps building with every ticket sold all day long. From the moment you wake up, the jackpot's building. And while you're in the shower, it's still building. Even while you're working, it's still building. Until jackpot, a winner, right on the spot. The fun keeps building with Fast Cash, only from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Who will help you get there? You spent years working, taking care of your kids, saving money, and now you're nearing retirement. Now it's your turn. You get to decide where to go next. Will your retirement include travel? Do you have a guide to help you get there? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and their team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors have helped hundreds of families create their retirement roadmap. Don't let financial limitations take you off course. Jason and Carl want you to have the retirement you've worked so hard for. They can help you create a retirement roadmap that's tailored to your lifestyle and long-term financial goals. Call Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors today at 989-848-1188 and schedule a visit. 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl Kreiderman's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Investment advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor with the state of Michigan.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. I mean everything. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't run my business. Anxiety paralyzed me, aging me terribly. I heard about Mark Patrick anxiety seminars from friends that were successful at Mark Patrick's weight loss and stop smoking seminars. I wasn't skeptical at all because my friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking with Mark and how easy it was to lose weight. I went to Mark Patrick anxiety seminar, and now I always hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone. I can sleep. I have patience. My life is back. In fact, I'm Supergirl again. I can't believe I just said that. That's right. That's me. I'm Supergirl. Thank you, Mark Patrick Seminars.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, even panic attacks. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. The End Anxiety, Stop Smoking, and Weight Loss with Hypnosis seminars will be Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the Saginaw area. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist, Mark Patrick, in the comfort and safety of your living room. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
As a Blue Cross Medicare member, managing your medications from home is simple. With our easy-to-use prescription drug plans, you can get the medicine your doctor prescribes from your local pharmacy or even delivered by mail. Care you need and want, Blue Cross will be here with more convenient ways of getting it, like we've been for 82 years. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit bcbsm.com/seniorcare.
Heard the good news about COVID-19 vaccines? They're here, but you can do more than wait for your turn. Here's how.
Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. And it's risky to be indoors with them, too. And masks? Well, they protect both the person wearing them and the folks around them. Wear a mask, watch your distance, and make a big difference now.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Sometimes driving is the best, and sometimes not so much. Like when it's pouring outside. Like when the snow is swirling. That's when you need the new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades designed to repel water, snow, and ice. Get yours today only at Walmart.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Before we get to our phones, this news alert in a major water main break in the city of Vassar. Right now, those residents in the city of Vassar are urged to boil water until further notice. Again, a major water main break in the city of Vassar. We'll have more on that at the news at the top of the hour. To our phones now on the Art Lewis Show, we say good morning to John in Freeland. John, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
We're doing well. Hope you are.
Good, yep. Art, I had a question. During the election, there was a lot of discussion on your show, and you had mentioned that the people here of Michigan voted for all this mail-in voting. I didn't recall seeing that on any of the ballots.
Yeah, what they voted for was a no-excuse absentee ballot. In other words, anybody could get an absentee ballot anytime they wanted it for any reason. That was a voter ballot question. It was an initiative. It was a voter initiative.
All right. I guess I didn't recall ever seeing it.
Now, that didn't mean that the Secretary of State should mail out ballot applications to everybody like they chose to do. But it did mean that anybody that wanted an absentee ballot could have one for any reason. You didn't need a reason, period. It was a new way to vote.
Well, how did it happen that the Secretary of State did that? Just she felt it
They
on
chose,
her own?
well, it was the administration. I don't think it was just Jocelyn Benson. I think it came from the governor's office and the attempt to do something else relative to COVID, if you will. So it was,
That's about our government, but I kind of think Jocelyn's sort of one of the henchmen of our bunch, but that's just my thought.
Well, she had to affect it because it came out of her office. Whether she had the idea or whether the governor had the idea or somebody else had the idea really doesn't make much difference. It happened.
Yeah, well, is there a way of reversing that? I mean, just because
Not really.
said that
You'd have to have a voter initiative again, and I doubt very much it would go very far.
Well, then I just wonder, is there a way that we could kind of watch it and come next election say, hey, you just can't willfully just mail them to everyone? I mean, is there a way of governing that?
You'd have to do that through your legislative elections and vote for people that believe as you do. And I do too, but that's the only way. I mean, you have to put people in office that have your same beliefs.
Well, Art, the way I understood you to say it was that anyone could willfully get a ballot without having to have a reason why they wanted to go mail in.
Exactly.
But to mail them out to every...
Well, they didn't mail ballots. Understand, they didn't mail ballots. They mailed ballot applications. So if you wanted to use it, you could. Nobody forced you to. They didn't send you a ballot.
Okay.
They sent you a ballot application to encourage people to do it, because at the time and the thought process, believe it or don't believe it, doesn't matter. The thought process was, with COVID-19, they were looking to reduce the number of people that go to the polling places and congregate. So the thought process was, okay, we'll get everybody to use mail-in ballots. Well, there's no doubt mail-in ballots, the use of mail-in ballots, greatly increased in the state of Michigan and elsewhere in the country too. And I would expect that even during normal years without COVID to deal with, we will see an increase in mail-in ballots simply because we can. But reversing it, not going to happen. It was Prop 3 in 2018.
18, okay. That's what I was wondering.
There you go.
Wow. All right, I got one more question for you quick, if you don't mind.
Nope, go ahead.
With this online gambling, now how did that get enacted?
I think it was legislative. I don't think we voted on it. I think it was legislative, and the governor signed it. That was, and I'm not sure how long ago that was either. What I was surprised at was I understood that they had legalized sports betting, mobile apps for sports betting. What I was surprised at was all the partnerships with casinos that came with it, so that you could go onto those sports book apps and play your favorite slot machines. And I'm going, wait a minute. That's really not sports betting. How did that come about? I still don't know the answer to that. I'm assuming somewhere in the language of the legislation, it must allow for it because it's happening all over the place. You have a sports book from MGM. You have one sports book aligned with Motor City. You have one sports book aligned with Grand Traverse Bay Casino. You have all these sports books aligned with casinos. So I don't know how that happened, to tell you the truth. I must have been sleeping because I missed that one.
Well, thank you, Art, because I think I must have, because I recall the sports betting, but I didn't realize that it was you could play slots and everything else.
I didn't either. Poker, blackjack, slots, I had no idea.
And, unfortunately, I watch a lot of local news, and in between all the online betting, they do show the Michigan State Gambling Association if you have an issue gambling
problems. Yeah. The other day on one of the channels, I don't even remember which one, there was a sports book. It doesn't matter which one. There was a sports book ad. Then there was the problem gambling ad, followed immediately by another sports book ad, back to back to back.
Yep, I think I must have been watching that day too, Art, because I've seen the same thing, and I just can't help but think I know a lot of people get hurt by that gambling, and you could be on drugs or you could be on alcohol, and it might take you a few years to lose everything, but I've seen people lose stuff on gambling in 6 months to a year.
Well, we had this discussion the other day, John, and I was musing about this on the air. Yes, it's true there are problem gamblers, and I'll relate. I only have a minute here, but I'll relate to a story when we were in the tour business from 1994 to 2008. We had a contract with Greektown Casino to run coach service from Saginaw Bay City, Flint, and Lansing to Greektown Casino. We had an arrangement with the casino.
Yep.
And we had gone down there at the beginning and talked to the manager of slot operations because they were running the bus programs at the time. And he told us straight out that on any bus we brought down, a busload of people, 15% of them were habitual gamblers that had no business in a casino. And he said another percentage of them would be gray area people. Maybe 25% would be gray area where maybe they should, but maybe they shouldn't because they might be spending money they shouldn't spend. The rest, 40, 60%, had more money than you knew about. But regardless of that, do we shut it down because of the 15% that can't control themselves? Well, 15% of the drivers on the road probably can't control themselves. They speed, they drink, they do what they shouldn't do while they're driving. We don't take away automobiles from everybody because most drivers are responsible. Well, it's the same thing. How much restriction do we place because of those that can't control themselves? Now, the other question I have, and I guess the answer is capitalism, how much is too much? When to become saturated with gambling? And the answer there is, well, those that don't have enough customers won't succeed, I guess. So there we go. John, I got to take a break, but I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thanks, Art.
Thanks, sir. Bye-bye now. All right, we will take a break. We will be back. Lines open for you on the Art Lewis Show. More coming up.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 833-919-2121. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 833-919-2121.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
I am so ready to go back to work.
I just need a chance.
So where do I start?
MidMichiganWork.com. Moorbark is now hiring welders, machine operators, and other skilled positions. No training? No problem. Apply for Moorbark's welder training program and earn while you learn. For more details on this position, other local companies that are hiring, and go to MidMichiganWork.com. That's MidMichiganWork.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
News coverage.
The South African variant in 32 states. The budget resolution.
$1.9 trillion. Votes in the affirmative. Passed.
News coverage.
6 more weeks of winter there will be.
Around the clock.
Today, allow in-person practice and competitions for sports leagues.
I understand that you came here with a private jet.
It's the only choice for somebody like me.
News.
Put children in school.
Follow the science.
Liz Cheney just got a resounding shot in the arm.
These were words of the past.
On WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us. Also, just a reminder, in Vassar, they had a major water main break, and they are encouraging residents to boil water for use. Mike is in Shields. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Hey, I really appreciate you having Malcolm Field.
Thank you.
One of my heroes. Got to tell you a story about him. We had him as a speaker at our Humanities series years ago.
Yep.
And I hope you got to that one. Anyway, he was sitting there, and Barb was in her about midway in her Alzheimer's at the time, but she seen him, so I took her over to to speak to him. And he looked up and he says, "You're that little French nurse from St. Mary's 5 North." And this was 40 years earlier. She hadn't worked there in 40 years.
Yep.
This guy's got a wonderful memory, boy.
Well, the stories are legion about Malcolm. When I was on the morning show beginning at 5:30 in the morning, I'd go to work very early. And there were days I would stop into Kroger on State Street to go in and maybe get a yogurt or something to take with me. And I'd be going in, and here comes Malcolm coming out. And he bought flowers for his nurses or something, And I just, it always amazed me, his stamina and his desire to serve. I've known a lot of people in my life. I've interviewed a lot of great people. I've met a lot of great people. Malcolm is on the top of my list. He is just a very, very unique, special individual.
Sure does. And that neuroscience center that he has set up.
FNI.
It's just, yeah, that is absolutely, for this area, it's great. We have stuff that you can't get at Mayo Clinic.
Yeah. I wish that today we didn't have enough room because we only have so many phone lines to be able to do these things, but I'll have to get him on in the future. But Dr. Gary Dunbar runs FNI. And, of course, sometimes talking to Dr. Dunbar is like talking in a foreign language because I don't understand most of what he says, but he's a brilliant, brilliant man. The FNI is doing phenomenal work right here in Saginaw. I don't think people realize how much medical research goes on here in Saginaw. Yeah. Many, many years ago, the development of heart stents was worked on right here in Saginaw. People don't realize that.
When I mentioned that she had Alzheimer's, and Gary, he was at the talk also, and he says, "I want to talk to you after." So he did. They took me under their wing, and they were continually calling me and telling me about different things to try.
Good.
There's no cure, but there was ways of at least making it a little bit easier.
All right.
So it was wonderful.
Good hearing from you, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Bye-bye now. And Dr. D in Saginaw. Dr. D, good morning to you.
Hey, listen, just a couple of tidbits here for your listeners and the last doctor that you were talking to. Viruses go through two different changes. They're called a shift and a drift. A shift is when the nucleotide, it's made up of 4 amino acids, loses one of its amino acids and a different amino acid moves in there. A drift is when several of these nucleotides are dropped off and a new chain of nucleotides jump in.
Which one is considered the mutation?
They are all mutations.
They're all mutations, okay.
But the drift is the worst possible we have. And I knew this back in April when I called you and told you this is going to get worse and these vaccines are not going to work like people think they're going to work. These have all been drifts so far, not shifts.
Well,
and your viewers can go on the internet and look up what a shift and a drift is.
Yeah.
But the problem is, as they go through a drift, a whole chain of nucleotides are replaced. When that happens, it takes a lot more research and a lot more time to figure out exactly what are the new nucleotides that are in there.
But the vaccines we have now, if we stick to Pfizer and Moderna, we'll put aside Johnson & Johnson for a minute, but let's stick to Pfizer and Moderna, that were 95% effective against the original COVID-19.
Correct.
They are saying that they are effective against these other strains, maybe slightly lesser, lesser degree, but you still get some benefit from them.
Yeah, you're going to get some benefit out of it, but are you ready for this? What happens when the African strain goes through another drift?
Yeah, well, that's why we have flu shots that are different every year, too. We'll probably have to have boosters every year, won't we?
Art, the last time we had a drift, okay, in the flu virus was in 1968, and that was the Hong Kong flu. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that well, yeah.
That was the last time we had a drift. We don't get a drift in the flu virus very often. But when I called you back in April, the problem with this COVID, it mutates so fast and so rapidly, somebody's going to have to be working overtime to try to keep up with all these changes.
Let's hope they are. That's all I can say.
Hong Kong flu. If you look at the Hong Kong flu, you see what I'm talking about.
I remember it. I remember it very well. All right. Yeah, Doc, I got to run.
One like that since
out of time. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, we got to take our last break, then we'll be back to close out this edition of the Art Lewis Show.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Chrissy is refinancing her home, so she shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. It's low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Okay, set it down over there and then go to Bay 5.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business
We
thin.
need to keep going to finish.
Like Amir's warehouse. To expand capacity, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, back with you in the few seconds remaining. Many thanks to our guests in the first hour, Dr. Akbar, Dr. Duggan, Judge Borrello, and Dr. Field for joining us in that tribute to Malcolm Field. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow with more news coming up next at the top of the hour. We focus today on Delta Corporate Services with Jennifer Carroll. That'll be coming up right after the news. Talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. In a few hours, the second impeachment trial of former President Trump opens in the U.S. Senate. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
It will begin with a 4-hour debate and vote on the constitutionality of the trial. 16 hours of presentations, questions from senators, closing arguments, and then a vote. We do know Mr. Trump will not testify. Some trial elements that are still unclear, if witnesses will be called and just will last.
CBS's John Dickerson says since the case is based on events leading up to the Capitol attack last month, there could be instances where fingers of blame get pointed at others.
Some senators believe their colleagues. Some of them gave aid and comfort to the conspiracy, to the fantasy that led to the insurrection. And so as they talk, there may very well be some pointed language aimed at some of their colleagues.
Federal safety investigators say the pilot of Kobe Bryant's helicopter flew through clouds last year in an apparent violation of government standards and likely became disoriented before the fatal crash. Mike Richards is a meteorologist with the National Transportation Safety Board.
Weather information for the accident time consistently presented an environment characterized by low clouds and restrictions to visibility.
A team of international scientists investigating in China says it believes the coronavirus most likely appeared in humans after jumping from an animal. The team dismisses the theory it was leaked from a lab. Later this week, Walgreens store COVID vaccinations in 15 states. Uber is partnering to get vaccine to underserved communities. CEO Dara Khosrowshahi on CBS This Morning.
We not only have to provide transportation and logistics, but also education, and we're partnering with the National Urban League, with Walgreens and other partners to make sure that the message gets out there.
Sorry, says the Postmaster General, about delivery delays during the holidays.
Too many Americans were left waiting weeks for important deliveries of mail and packages. This is unacceptable, and I apologize to those customers who felt the impact of our delays.
Louis DeJoy telling the Postal Board of Governors they threw everything they had at the problem, hired more people, but it wasn't enough to deal with record volume. Revenue did rise for the Postal Service by 11%. Legendary producer Barry Gordy hails one of the sweethearts of Motown. He calls the late Mary Wilson of the chart-topping Wilson died at her Las Vegas home at 76. Diana Ross tweets, they had so many wonderful memories of their time together. Checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 77 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Avoid the crowds and skip straight to savings with RV show prices all winter long at General RV in Birch Run. Whether you shop safely in store or online, you will save thousands with our exclusive RV show discounts and all-time low financing. Plus, we are giving you a trade-in bonus on top of your trade-in value. We've moved our most popular floor plans indoors, and we have thousands more RVs online in our virtual showroom. Save thousands with our RV show prices online and in-store at General RV in Birch Run off I-75.
Get huge savings with fuel. Fill up at one of your 26 area Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every single fill up and earn even more when you make purchases in store. You can regularly save 10, 20, even 30 cents off a gallon, which means less money goes into your tank and more stays into your wallet. Visit fuelrewards.com to sign up and start saving today. That's Fuel Rewards at your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then try Babbel. Text TRY to 64000 and try it for free. Babbel. Real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just 10,000 to start learning a new language today. That's try to 64,000. TRY to 64,000.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
It's 13 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. The city of Vassar has issued a boil water advisory until further notice due to a major water main break. The city says the Department of Public Works staff are working to isolate and repair the problem. Again, Vassar residents should boil water until further notice. Water main break. Organizers have decided to cancel Bay City's St. Patrick's Day parade this year to curb the spread of COVID-19 and its variants. The parade also had to be canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic. The St. Patrick's Day Parade Association says they will carry on the tradition in 2022. The Saginaw County Sheriff Department is investigating a fatal crash on northbound I-675 that happened just before 5:30 yesterday near North Michigan Avenue. Police say a 50-year-old man in a 2003 Pontiac Grand Prix had apparently stopped in the right lane of the expressway when a 1999 Chevrolet Trailblazer from behind. The driver of the Grand Prix died at the scene. No other injuries were reported. A Vassar Township man escaped a serious collision yesterday without injury. State police responded to the area of Brown and Hess roads in Tuscola County at the scene of a crash involving a white full-size commercial van and a train. Police say icy road conditions contributed to the crash. The 53-year-old man driving the van was unable to stop his vehicle in time for the train heading north and collided with the engine. The driver told police he was not able to see the train in time. That railroad crossing also has no crossing gate signal, only a yield sign. The van was heavily damaged, while the train sustained minimal damage. Speed is listed as a factor in the crash, and the van driver was cited at the scene. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Isn't that great news? Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, the seminar is now online, live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the Saginaw area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
WSGW News Time. After a recent break-in to a department vehicle, the Saginaw Fire Department will be installing new security cameras at its stations and training center. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Saginaw Fire Chief Chris Van Loo says there have been sporadic break-ins to firefighter and department vehicles in the past, but with current equipment aging and a need for increased employee security, he said it was time for a different approach. In total, the cost to install the cameras at Station 1 on Federal Avenue, Station 2 on Gratiot Avenue, Station 4 on State Street, and the training facility on East Bristol add up to approximately $14,500, with City Council also approving an additional $46,500 for the separate purchase of a Chevy Tahoe for battalion chiefs to share, replacing an older, deteriorating 2007 model that had been costing more and more to repair annually. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The charge is against a half dozen hairstylists ticketed during a protest at the state capitol have been dismissed. Jim Matthews has more on this report.
The 6 women were cutting hair as they protested the orders from Governor Gretchen Whitmer to keep barbershops and salons closed for almost 3 months as the coronavirus pandemic continued. They argued the tickets for disorderly conduct should be tossed, with the state Supreme Court in October ruling that the governor's orders were given under a law that's unconstitutional. Lansing District Judge Kristen Simmons agreed and granted the dismissal request. Legal analysts note that emerge as activists in the wake of the defiance of Carl Mankey. He's the barber from Owasso who ignored the shutdown and opened his shop last May despite the governor's orders.
That was Jim Matthews reporting. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. Coming up on 1110, I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper teens, with winds out of the west around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions, a low near -1. Shine develops a high around 18 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny sky conditions with a high around 19. By Friday, mostly cloudy, high around 18 degrees. Then by Saturday, we'll have a chance for some snow showers here late, mostly cloudy skies, and a high around 16. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 12.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. Today we're going to focus on leadership and a virtual leadership experience, and we're going to do that with the Director of Corporate Services at Delta. We say good morning to Jennifer Carroll. Jennifer, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Glad to have you with us. I think before we get into this virtual exercise on leadership, we need to talk a little bit about corporate services. It's been around a long time. Give us an overview of Delta Corporate Services and what it does.
Delta Corporate Services delivers training to businesses for their employees, and we've been doing that for over 30 years here in the region and around the world. One of our things that we are really proud of at Delta is our expert instructors, so we can provide training to businesses for technical skills such as welding or CNC and so on, or we also provide training for essential skills such as leadership and communication. So we've been working with businesses in the region for some time, and our niche here at Delta College is because we are a community college, we are able to respond very quickly to when our businesses say they have a need and deliver that training for them.
And I noticed you said around the world because the tentacles of Delta Corporate Services have been large in the past. I can remember the days when You were serving the auto industry all over the United States and the world, for that matter.
Yes, we have a long history of being able. That was actually the experience in the 80s, and now we can serve around the world with experiences virtually as well. So if there's ever an opportunity for growth, there are businesses out there who haven't considered training partners outside of their area. They're looking to be able to do that, and virtual is a great format for it.
So that brings us to virtual and virtual leadership. Tell us about this program.
Virtual leadership for us, we've been able to, the last 3 years, offer virtual training in leadership. We've had a number of businesses, especially in the last 12 months, that are seeking opportunities for their employees who are working remotely, how really tighten up some of those skills gaps that they've noticed. So before we do any kind of training program, we asked our area businesses, where are the gaps and what do you need help with? And really they said there are 5 essential pieces of skill that we don't see in our employees, and can you help us with that? And they centered around change management, just identifying strengths and weaknesses within the employee themselves and how to build those skill sets. Project management, we're going to do a session on negotiation and persuasion, and of course effective listening. So listening to our employers, we particular training, it is a 5-part training, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home.
So who is this available to, and is there a cost?
It is available to any person who is interested in increasing their skill sets and leadership. They could be currently working or looking to get into the field. It is available by emailing us at training@delta.edu if you're interested. The cost is $35 per person. We do, however, offer a chamber discount for any person, a member of their local area of Chamber of Commerce. And one of the things that we really want to remind people about when it comes to training is everyone needs new skills. It doesn't matter if you work at a big business or a small business, everyone needs those skills. So if we're able to help those individuals continue to grow, we want to be able to do that.
Comes under that big heading of continuing education.
It does. I like to say that not only as individuals, but as a community, we need to continually learn and grow.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to keep a viable economy.
All right, Jennifer, hang on. I've got to take a break. We'll be back. We're talking to Jennifer Carroll, the Director of Delta Corporate Services. More on virtual leadership training when we return here on Focus.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do. And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Automotive and transmission repair. Even with so many of us homeschooling or working from home, and your car sitting in the driveway, your engine's oil and other fluids are breaking down over time. Let All A's keep your vehicle running smoothly and your family safe. Schedule your oil change and fluid service with us today. Remember, All A's only fixes what we say we're going to fix. All A's Automotive and Transmission Repair. Just 5 minutes from Dow Diamond on Poseyville Road.
Is All A's Automotive and Transmission Repair a business you can depend on?
Just moved to Midland, was dreading finding a new auto shop. Search over, came highly recommended, and I, in turn, highly recommended them.
They did a great job getting me in fast and had excellent communication with what was going on. Diagnostic and repair.
In fact, 96% of All A's customers rank them 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. See for yourself at allaysautorepair.net. All A's Automotive and Transmission Repair, just 5 minutes from Dow Diamond on Poseyville Road.
Heard the good news about COVID-19 vaccines? They're here, but you can do more than wait for your turn. Here's how. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. And it's risky to be indoors with them, too. And masks? Well, they protect both the person wearing them and the folks around them. Wear a mask, watch your distance, and make a big difference now.
Learn more about vaccines at /coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get a free 30-day supply of Super Beets Chews, plus a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes with your first purchase when you shop at getsuperbeets.com/sky. That's getsuperbeets.com/sky.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show.
After counting all the mail-in points, it looks like the Chiefs won the Super Bowl after all.
Somebody had a couple of touchdowns in their trunk.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. This is the Stone Specialist Studios. News Radio WSGW. 790 News Radio WSGW.
And welcome back to Focus here on WSGW. We are chatting with Jennifer Carroll, the Director of Corporate Services at Delta College, and talking about virtual leadership. When will these sessions run, Jennifer?
They're going to begin this Thursday. There will be 5 sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 11. If you don't have an opportunity to sign up for the sessions right now, in the month of February, we'll be offering the series again.
Is there room for interaction in these sessions?
Yes, these sessions are highly interactive. The instructor who leads them has not only a good foundation for what the skill sets are. There's role playing, there's situational leadership sessions that every individual can not only participate in, and people who are going to attend the series will also be provided some support materials they complete prior to, so that they can really do a thorough assessment of their own leadership skills, so they're able to take what applies to them and move forward with it.
What virtual platform do you use for these seminars and these interactives?
We use Zoom as a platform. It has the easiest capability, and if you didn't hear about Zoom 12 months ago, you feel like you're living in it now. It's just the way of the world, isn't it?
You read my mind, because I was going to say 12 months ago I never heard of Zoom. Now I'm a Zoomer. I mean,
Yeah.
several times a month at least. So it's become part of our lives. We need a training course in Zooming. I think, it's amazing that, it really has amazed me, the technology that we have today. I'm an example. I'm sitting at home. I'm working out of my house, broadcasting just as if I were in a studio. And it's been a learning curve, which points out the need for that lifelong learning. You never know when you're going to need some new skill set, right?
Absolutely. In fact, studies have shown that individuals need to be picking up a minimum of 1 to 3 new skill sets every 3 months just to maintain performance in the workplace. That's not talking about exceeding performance. So I think that the society has done an incredible amount of learning in the last 12 months, and we want to continue to be there as a college for the community, them continue to learn and grow.
Have you found that virtual learning is as effective as in-person learning?
Virtual learning can be as effective. The real key to that is having outstanding instructors. At Delta College, our faculty are extremely experienced and able to translate a lot of the learning experiences that were in the classroom to virtual. But there isn't a replacement for some learning that requires hands-on, such as skilled trades, nursing, or dental assisting programs that we run here at the college. Those types of programs are being run where they combine the Zoom classroom with hands-on labs here at Delta. So for many trainings, yes, it can be expensive, but there are still no replacement for those hands-on experiences.
And those hands-on experiences are important. I mean, for many, many years, we spent so much of our energy pushing four-year college institutions. Four-year college, you had to go to college. We neglected some of the skilled trades. When the reality is, I mean, you could probably learn to be a welder and make as much money as somebody graduating a four-year college, maybe even more.
Absolutely. The skilled trades and for our region is critical, and we need to make certain we provide learning opportunities for people at any age to explore those types of career paths, and Delta is a great way to do it. So I would encourage anybody who's thinking about entering into a new work field to give us a call and talk with our career advisors and learn what are the regional opportunities here. We also have great partners with Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works who can give any individual who's seeking employment wonderful opportunities on open leads. We just can't have enough of a skilled workforce.
And if businesses have a particular employment need, should they contact you, or who do they contact?
Businesses seeking to fill an open role, I would encourage like State Michigan Works. If a business has a need where they're noticing their employees have a skills gap, absolutely call Delta College or email training@delta.edu. I'd be happy to sit down and talk about what type of solution makes sense for them. I'm only interested in solutions that can be efficient and effective. We don't train for anything that's not a gap. That makes it cost-effective for the business and a really good use of time for the person going through the training.
All right, so someone who wants to sign up for your virtual leadership training, how do they do that?
Email training@delta.edu. I would encourage them to do it sooner than later since the session kicks off on this Thursday.
Well, Jennifer, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now. Stay safe. Jennifer Carroll, she is the Director of Delta Corporate Services. We thank her for her time this morning. Our last break, and then we'll be back to close out.
Traditionally, the symbol of romance is flowers.
Oh, honey, they're beautiful.
But flowers last, what, a few days?
A week, tops.
We think romance ought to last, like it's set in stone for Then let Stone Specialists bring you the romance of natural stone into your home. Since 1996, they've been your direct source for granite and quartz countertops.
Ooh, experience. I like that.
Stone Specialist in Midland will guide you through the whole process, from your imagination to installation. Their 10,000-foot showroom is filled with ideas. Choose granite and quartz from around the world in hundreds of captivating colors.
I already have a few in mind.
Increase the beauty and value of your home with new countertops from Stone Specialist. Start creating your new kitchen or bathroom now.
All I need are the details.
114 East Hine Street in Midland at Stone Specialist. Follow us on Facebook.
Got it.
Stone Specialist. Bring the romance of natural stone to your home.
What makes Fast Cash from the Michigan Lottery so thrilling? The progressive jackpot that keeps building with every ticket sold all day long. From the moment you wake up, the jackpot's building. And while you're in the shower, it's still building. Even while you're working, it's still building. Until jackpot, a winner, right on the spot. The fun keeps building with Fast Cash, only from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Get huge savings with Fuel Rewards. One of your 26 area Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every single fill-up. And earn even more when you make purchases in store. You can regularly save 10, 20, even 30 cents off a gallon, which means less money goes into your tank and more stays into your wallet. Visit FuelRewards.com to sign up and start saving today. That's Fuel Rewards at your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
Meet Bob Minetti.
My wife and I just celebrated 45 memorable years together. She and my daughter Katie are my anchors.
Bob and Wendy spent time fundraising for healthcare causes.
I guess I decided to become a patient.
In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
I assumed that there was no hope for people with my diagnosis.
Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion.
I'm so glad that I learned about what was possible for me.
I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to ensure that everyone facing this diagnosis knows about the immense progress being made. Stand Up to Cancer and Lustgarten Foundation are working together to make every person diagnosed into a long-term like Bob. Visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Furnished by Stand Up to Cancer.
Pass in the slot, a shot taken, a save made, and the Wings score right out in front. Oh, the Red Wings get their goal to make it 3-1.
The Red Wings play 6:45 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW. The Focus Show on WSGW, brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And that will do it for this edition of Focus. Back tomorrow with lots more. Stay safe. Have yourself a great day. Coming up in just a few moments, Farm Service with Terry Henney. It's 100.5 and 790 Farm Service. And we will be back to talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
There are times when it's hard to ignore that you may have a gambling problem. Like when you're at the casino and you've withdrawn the maximum amount from your ATM.
Withdrawal denied.
When you can't leave the tables, yet you don't know how you're going to put food on the table.
Credit card denied.
Brakes on gaming and then can't fill up your gas tank.
Transaction denied.
When you're so invested in gambling, you're not able to invest in your future. You're robbing yourself and those you love of a better life.
Approval denied.
Don't deny there's a problem any longer. If you or someone you love is struggling with a gambling problem, we can help you win your life back. For free confidential help, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117 or visit michigan.gov/problemgambling. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I'm one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance. Palbociclib
25 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com.
Patients taking Ibrance can develop low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infections that can lead to death. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs that can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is a $30 gift certificate to the Beer Garden in Bay City for only $15. The Beer Garden has 18 delicious beers on tap, and they have some delicious signature burgers such as the Dealer's Choice and Grandma Jew. And do not forget to try their poutine and roasted Brussels sprouts. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Chrissy is refinancing for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit in all states except New York, and MLS number 1168.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just text TRY to 64,000 to start learning a new language today. That's TRY to 64,000.
Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henney and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. That's a beauty out there, really. Step outside, it's not all that bad. 13 degrees at the airport, 14 at Radio Center, 14 downtown Midland, 13 downtown Bay City. I say not all that bad. It's simply because it's been this cold for a while. And as a result, I think we're kind of getting used to it. The other thing is the wind. We don't have the wind to contend with that much today. There is a little bit of a breeze out of the northwest at about 8 miles per hour. Wind chill is 2, 30.31 and steady is the barometric pressure. Around the state, we're seeing a lot of teens, maybe a 20 sprinkled in here and there, especially southeast Michigan. Detroit right now is looking at 20 degrees. Overnight, once again, we had some below normal temperatures, but not as many as what we saw last night. Caro came in this morning at 1 below zero. Midland reported 3 below over at the airport, but we did see some temperatures in the teens overnight. The reason why? Very simple. We had cloud cover, especially in southwest or southeast Michigan. So Detroit never really dropped down below 13 degrees last night. Picking up a little bit of snow, in southeast Michigan as a result of having the clouds, a little bit of snow, close to 2 inches being reported in White Lake, also Ann Arbor. Detroit Metro had a little bit better than 1.5 inches of snow. And the airport here at MBS reported 1/10 of an inch of snow. Auburn, you're looking at 3 below zero overnight. Oil City was at 5 below. Frankenmuth dropped down to 2 below zero. Same thing with Vassar. The back 40 in Richville, I was looking at 0. Not much of anything there. And again, as I said, southeast Michigan, temperatures in the low to mid-teens at many of the reporting stations. Northern Michigan continuing to be rather chilly. I know Marquette, Ironwood, you'd expect them to be below zero with all this cold air, and they were once again. Bemidji, Minnesota, they dropped down to somewhere around 18 or whatever it was below zero there. Billings, Montana, 2 below. This cold air dropped all the way down to the Texas Panhandle overnight last night, where they had some temperatures in the mid-teens, which is very cold for them. And it does appear as though this cold air is not going to go away anytime soon. Matter of fact, as we approach and get into the weekend, central part of the continental United States is going to continue to be very cold. Fortunately for us, even though our temperatures are right around the 0 mark and in some cases below 0, we're not getting the brunt of that cold air nearly as bad because of the water as what we're seeing all the way down into Kansas, Arkansas, Texas. Over the weekend, those folks are going to be dropping down to some of the coldest air that they have seen in a number of years. A matter of fact, we did see a few reporting stations last night that dropped down to the coldest ever readings in Nebraska. So cold air, it's here. It's going to stay with us for a while. Long range is looking at least through the 23rd of the month. The temperatures averaging below, if not much below normal. Precipitation pattern, as you would expect, is going to be average, maybe even a little bit above. But whatever we do get is going to be the powdery stuff. So what are we looking at right now? Projected high temperature 18. Our low tonight will be some of the coldest air we have seen so far because of clear skies. Our projected low is 4 below zero. Some of you are going to be looking at colder temperatures than that. And all the way through the day today and tonight, a west breeze right around 8 miles per hour, dropping down to under 5 miles per hour tonight. So it's going to be clear and it is going to be cold. Tomorrow, a little bit more in the way of cloud cover, 18 degrees for a high, but then the clouds will clear off overnight tomorrow night. And I think we're going to drop down to about 3 below zero tomorrow night. Then on Thursday, 18 degrees for a high, not nearly as cold on Thursday night, simply because there is a system that will be affecting our weather, and we will be looking at some snow shower, snow flurry activity around on Thursday night. I don't think it's going to be anything measurable, simply because the big mess, and all of this is coming from a low pressure system in the southeastern part of the continental United States, is going to be pushing that moisture into the Tennessee Valley and the lower Ohio River Basin. They're going to get quite a bit of snow. And if they don't get snow, they're going to get ice. So if you are going to be traveling in that direction Thursday night and Friday, be advised you will run into some rough road conditions. Now, Friday clouds 19, then Saturday and Sunday, once again, we are going to be looking at a chance of some snow on Saturday, but all the way through this period, we're going to be running a good 10 to 12 degrees below average during the day, and we should be at 16 at night. We're going to drop down on Friday night to 6, Saturday night 10, and then things will clear off for Sunday later in the day, and we'll drop down to 0. Record high in the state is 53. That was set back in 1925. The record low was 18 below zero, set in 1934. A year ago today, about 3.5 inches of snow. Our high was 33. Our low was 23. Sun will set this evening at 5:59. Rise tomorrow morning at 7:41. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Rick Hollister is standing by at the Andersons. He's got the latest for us as far as the markets go ahead of that government report. But before we get to him, we want to remind you the weather forecast is brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today. You know, the weather is going to affect you one way or the other, whether it's droughts, whether it's flood, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. Well, make sure that it's not going to ruin your life. With multi-peril crop insurance from NAU Country Insurance Company and Wiki Crop Insurance of Saginaw. You and your family deserve the NAU Country peace of mind, so get a hold of Kyle today at wikicrop.com or toll free 888-845-7918 for more information. NAU Country Insurance Company is an equal opportunity employer. We say good morning to Rick Hollister. Rick, a beautiful sunny day.
Good morning, Terry. Yes, gorgeous. I'm in South Central Michigan, and boy, it was a beautiful sunrise, all crystals and sparkles this morning here.
Well, I hope the guys in Chicago are enjoying crystals and sunshine.
We are higher going into our crop report. We had a good update yesterday. Corn making new highs. Soybeans trying to get back to the highs that we traded 3.5 weeks ago after the January crop report numbers. So, yeah, the market's doing well. Old crop corn up 6, new crop corn's up a couple. Old crop beans up 17, new crop up 13, and wheat's coming along. Traded lower part of the morning, and now wheat back up 2 to 3 cents. So market continued to surge higher here going into today's February crop report, which, Terry, usually our February report is a big nothing, but we're anticipating good things out of this report. So we'll see if the USDA lowers our ending stocks estimates as much as the trade is expecting here in just a few minutes.
It's going to be real interesting. Rick, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
All righty. Thank you, Terry.
You betcha. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. To Oppenheimer we go with Doug Klein. The market report brought to you by the folks of John Deere's Michigan's John Deere dealership. That's Bader & Sons Company. You know, if you're a farmer, construction, or landscape company, and you're working in tight spaces, consider the line of John Deere compact construction equipment, including skid steers, track and wheel loaders, and compact excavators. For a demo, just get a hold of the Linwood store in beautiful downtown Crump, or visit greentractors.com and try out tough compact equipment that's designed for small spaces. And by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts, new parts for old tractors. You want that tractor to work, especially some of the older ones. And you might even want to make it look pretty, you know, with the warmer weather. Can't be too far away. You're going to want to show that tractor off, especially in the spring and the summer. Well, Steiner will help you. New parts for old tractors are as easy as giving them a call at 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Morning, Doug.
Good morning.
Well, uncharacteristically positive ahead of a government report.
Well, it's a lot to do with momentum and calculating.
Yep.
Seeing what they think is coming next. They're not, I don't know that so much thinking, but more calculating. So, yeah, got our new high in corn, got a new high on John Deere, got a new high on crude oil overnight, and platinum also hit a new high. So, anyway, here's your numbers. The March corn, 5.69 3/4, up 6 cents. The December corn is 4.59 3/4, up 1.5 pennies. March soybeans, 14.05, up 17 1/4. The November soybeans, 11.92 up 12 3/4. The March wheat is 6.57 1/4, up 1.5. And July wheat, 6.44 3/4, up 1 3/4. Crude oil, just a little over 58 at 58.13, up 16 cents. Heating oil, 173.37, up 1/4 penny. Gasoline is 178.26. That's pretty much unchanged. And natural gas, 281.5. That's down 6.5 cents. Canadian dollar, the U.S. dollar gets you $1.2712 at the border. That's down 26 ticks. The yen is at 104.61, down 61 ticks. The euro is at 121. That's up 51 ticks. The dollar's at 90.60. That's down 33 ticks. Gold's at 1836.80, up $5. Silver's at 27.36, down 21 cents. Platinum's at 1194.70. That's up $20.
All right. Doug, you take care.
Thanks. Yep, you too.
Talk to you again. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. If you didn't have the opportunity to join us this morning for Coffee with Corn, you missed another really great meeting. I'll tell you, this morning, Eric Snodgrass, who works with Nutrient Ag Solutions, talked about the weather. Gave us some really interesting facts and figures to work with. And just basically told folks not only the way the weather works, but what you can expect from the weather given certain situations. It's not a matter of forecasting whether the sun's going to come up and what time, as it is short-term and long-term, the different things that happen in areas across the globe and how it affects the weather here, not only in the United States, but the Great Lakes Bay region. Very interesting topic and a very interesting speaker. If you missed it and you'd like to take a look at it, or if you looked at it and you want to save it for future viewing, especially when he talks about what he thinks is going to happen this summer, and if in fact it did happen, you'll be able to get firsthand knowledge of whether he was right or whether he was wrong. Just all you got to do is go to the Farm Service Facebook, Farm Service 79 Facebook, or the WSGW Facebook, or the 94.5 The Moose Facebook, and check it out. I know you'll really be interested in seeing it. Take a look at it maybe the second time in case you missed something. Coffee with Corn, a regular feature being put on by the Corn Marketing Program of Michigan. Jim Zook, we join up with him and some of the other folks with the Corn Marketing Program. And each and every Tuesday beginning about 7:45, 8 o'clock. And those meetings will continue right in through a good part of the month of March. A lot of different speakers coming up. So all you got to do is go to micorn.org and take a look at how things are lining up. And for those of you that need the credits, you can get those as well. So check it out. Along with me, Chuck Lipstrew with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Chuck, a lot of things going on out and about. What are you thinking today?
I'm thinking a lot of things, Terry.
I mean, that we can talk about on the radio, okay?
I understand.
Yes.
Well, look, here's the first thing I'm thinking. I don't want to belabor the point, but these coffee with corn events are cool. And I think it's a great idea. And encourage people. I mean it. If you haven't had a chance to tune into one of those, you should. I know you just talked about that, Terry, but I think it's an outstanding program that Corn Growers has put together.
And from what I understand now, Chuck, the wheat growers are going to be putting their program together. That'll be starting next week on Wednesday. And we'll also be setting it up the same way that the corn growers are operating. So they'll be able to go on the Facebook. And Monday morning on WSGW, the Moose, and WSGW Farm Service Facebooks, we're going to have our social stream live with Jody Pollock Newsom and Dennis Pennington to talk about the series that's coming up and some of the featured speakers they're going to have in the first 3 sessions. So kind of mark that down on your calendar for next Monday, starting at right around 8 o'clock in the morning there.
Hey, Terry, that actually, I'll tell you, with all these different events going on, and I actually think there's a couple other Michigan commodity organizations that are in the works putting together some virtual programs. One observation I've got for everybody is, I think recertification credits look a lot different this year than they did last year when we were all kind of trying to figure out the new normal. This year there's going to be a whole lot of virtual opportunities to get those RUP credits that people need. I think everybody knows, but hopefully, if you didn't know, I can shine some light on this. If you didn't get enough credits last year, there is an opportunity, thanks to an emergency order that was signed, that allows you to get credits for an expired pesticide applicator credential through June 30th. So if you, for whatever reason, didn't get enough credits with the uncertainty last year, you still have that opportunity. That makes these events especially useful and important. And one other important piece of that, if you've got listeners out there, Terry, and I imagine you have quite a few who hold a private applicator license, that even if it's expired from 2019 or 2020, that is good through June 30th of this year. So there's a little bit of something for people to think about, a little bit of an extension and some flexibility. So as you think about getting product in place here as we head for spring, if you do have an expired credential, thanks to an emergency order that got signed in December, that is still good to procure the things you need until June 30th. And if you don't have enough credits, make sure you get that taken care of. But there is a little bit of a window. And so all these different events that are going on, it's important to make a plan and make sure you're up to speed here, at least by the end of June.
Great. Chuck, thank you very much for that reminder. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week. All righty?
Always a pleasure.
All righty. Chuck Lipstrew with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Foster Blue Water Oil. They want to take your diesel to another level. You don't have to worry about cold starts or cleaner injectors, more power, maximum lubricity, year-round protection, and up to 8% improved fuel economy when you use Diesel Guard Supreme Plus from Valve Tech Petroleum, available at Foster Blue Water Oil. For more information, just go online, fosterbluewateroil.com. Jerry Samolsky joining me right now. Jerry, good morning. How are you?
Good, Terry.
We talked a little bit on the Coffee with Corn this morning about the warming trend, and you have mentioned it before about the plants and the different zones for growing plants, and it appears as though Michigan is kind of moving into a different zone when it comes to our growing things outdoors.
I have seen in the national maps that there's a little finger of zone 6. So typically we've always been zone 4 in northern Michigan. zone 5 throughout most of the state, and then a little finger down around Detroit, and then a little finger of the lake effect snow on the west side of the state. But now we're getting a little bit more, getting into the zone 6, a little finger of zone 6. The zone along the lake is increasing, zone 6 there, and a little bit larger area of Detroit. And just looking at the temperatures going through, Terry, zone 6 is minus 10 degrees. So we haven't seen that. We're just barely getting some minus degrees now. So that means we can, possibly use some fun, different things. So I'm going to look at it this way. Let's say we find this beautiful, large zone 6 plant and maybe call it like Blue Atlas cedar. And we plant one of those and it cost me $300. And I had it for 5 years, and all of a sudden we get a cold winter and it dies. Well, for $60 a year, I had an awful lot of fun and enjoyment out of that plant. Maybe we can't guarantee it and say plants are forever, like a lot of customers want. But at the end of it all, we can try some unique, fun things that everybody wants, and then maybe not have them for perpetuity, and maybe have to replace them from time to time. So we're looking at bringing some zone 6 stuff in and having some fun and seeing what we can do.
All right. Jerry, thank you. You talk to us again tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. We'll look for it. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
Hi, I'm Steve Cook from the Cook GM Superstore in Vassar. Do you know what the big story in the automotive world is so far in 2021? It's inventory. Car dealer inventories are depleted. Factories can't keep up, and Michigan is the hardest hit state. Just ask anyone who shopped in the last 30 days. Fortunately, at Cook Chevrolet Buick, we've still got inventory of Equinoxes, Blazers, and Traverses. And guess what has the best offers of any Chevrolet? That's right, Equinoxes, Blazers, and Traverses. Check these out. Loaded LT Equinoxes, including heated seats and remote start, now from $204 a month. Loaded LT Blazers from $235, and Traverses starting at an unbelievably low $250. Don't take a chance. Get yours while prices are low, and you still have a choice. That's Cook Chevrolet Buick, M15 Top of the Hill in Vassar. P.S. If you're having a hard time finding a pickup, give us a try.
24-month GM employee and family lease. $696 on Equinox, $744 on Blazer, $760 on Traverse. Do it signing. Visit us online at cookchevybuick.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Let's talk about those portable heaters to keep us warm. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency on the line with me right now. Craig, what should we be concerned about with those heaters?
Well, there's lots going on, Terry. We always get folks moving animals inside and running portable heaters, maybe running heat tape, trying to keep some water pipes thawed, or even the heaters in the water troughs, kind of keep the water thawed out so the animals can drink. And every so often, one of those things tips over, catches something on fire. If you're using extension cords, make sure they're heavy enough to handle the load, and just keep an eye on them. Don't turn them on and forget about them. Double check them and make sure they're working okay. And if they look like they might need a little maintenance, either get new ones or fix what you can, because it never fails. We get a few fires this time of year because of those items.
Good reminder. Craig, you have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
You bet. Let's find out what's going on in New York right now. Steve Anderson with Baird. Steve, what are the folks doing to us today?
Well, hi, Terry. Today we've got mixed markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 28 points, putting it at 31,358 on volume of 388 million shares. The NASDAQ is ahead, though, by 28, putting it at 14,016 on volume of 802 million shares. Locally, they're mixed too. Caterpillar's unchanged at 197.45. Deere, 317.72, up 64. We've got CMS at 56.38, down 6. Dow, 56.70, down 65. DuPont, 73.60, down 216. Corteva, 43.14, up 13. GM, 56.07, down 81. Trinzio, 56.84, down 9. Walmart, 145.89, up 86. Home Depot, 278.14, down 189. Huntington Banks is 14.27, up a nickel. TCF, 42 even, up 15. And the AT&T is 28.65, down 13 little pennies.
All right. Steve Anderson, thank you very much. You have a great day, okay?
Well, I shall. You all do the same.
All righty. Steve Anderson with Baird and Company. A little bit more is on the weather and the markets coming up at 12:30, so stick around for that. But right now, we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.